कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभा यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radhe Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमावों विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च दानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Today I was told to speak on the topic of consistency. I will show you a nice chart. Coming? Yeah. Any goal you want to achieve in life, whether it is going back to Godhead or to be an ideal student or a person who may be perfect in his career or a person who really wants to gain success in his business. Anything, any goal you wish to achieve, the first thing you need is a laser sharp focus. So it's not a very difficult thing to understand. You see, in a lens, in a magnifying glass, if you find out the focal point and focus it, then you can burn the paper, isn't it? Then the job is done. the power of a lens is to burn a paper. But you can only burn it if you find out the focal point. If you don't find its focal point, it can't burn the paper. Even if you put the paper on the top of the roof of your house, even when the sun is deadly hot at noon time also, still it cannot burn the paper. So why? Because the light rays are all diffused. They are not focused in one place. So, and it is true for everything. Say, for example, if somebody goes to Pune station, there is a fast train standing in first, first platform. And there is a slow train in the 8th platform. So now you are coming to know that the, fast train is, after 20 minutes or something like that. Correct now? Or 15 minutes. And the slow train is leaving immediately. So naturally you will calculate, correct now? If I go by slow train, I have to reach that particular station. It's going to stop in every station. Should I take that? Or should I take the fast train, which will take me faster? Sometimes slow train is advantageous because there is going to reach before the fast train, correct now? So when you're making a calculation, sometimes I have seen boys who go to the slow train and that is gone already because of the crowd, heavy crowd on the bridge. By the time return back, what is gone? The positive is also gone. So we miss both. So therefore, decision making is a very important aspect of life. Because our minds are indecisive, all the more so in this age of Kali Yuga. Therefore, we tend to be very distracted in making proper decisions. For example, in spiritual life, should I do more service? Should I take up more service, or should I spend time in reading more and developing my knowledge of philosophy? Or should I chant more extra rounds, or should I read Prabhupada books more? So you get should I take 2 more chapatis, or stop now? Should I take 1 more sweet, or stop now? Isn't it? You get a doubt. Yeah. Am I becoming selfish in spiritual life, thinking about my own progress? Or should I go out, and help the suffering souls, as all our acharyas have spoken? When you go out, then you think that, what can I give? I have no substance. Now, when you come and sit and study, you feel, I'm not going and giving out, correct? No? So many times we are indecisive even in the spiritual path. Same way with material life also. Many times you open the computer to study something and then some pop-up comes, you get distracted. You go here, you go there. Like somebody is preparing for GRE TOEFL. Although he is studying the book in the computer, suddenly he goes to all foreign universities. Let me see which university is looking how. This university, they have building like this, and this is Ivy League university, I can try this. Because 1 hour is gone and looking at the universities and he's not qualified for going. Isn't it? So the reason is what? He got distracted. He got distracted. So those who get distracted are often those who miss the goal, are unable to achieve the goal. That's why the very first thing, and I said, laser sharp focus. Actually, this is the main reason why even kings send their sons, like Prince would go to the jungle. Like Prachetas they were supposed to become the king next to Prachina Parishad. So Prachina Parishad told them, go to the forest, control your senses, control your mind, gain focus, and then you can achieve your desired goals. Without focus, nobody can. Imagine that you go to catch 2 rabbits. Both rabbits will run away in 2 directions. None of them came in your hand. Correct now? So therefore, this word focus is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam also. He says, Tatra kirtayato vipra Tatra kirtayato vipra Vipra rishe bhuri tejasaha aham chadyakamam tatra nivistastat anugrahat soham shravayishyami yataditam yatamati. This is spoken by Sutta Goswami to the Shaunaka Rishis. See what words he's using. Tatra kirtayato vipra. In that Bhagavatam lecture, which was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit, many, many great personalities were sitting there. There was Vyasa, there was Narada, such kinds of people, Parshuram, many, many people's names are mentioned there. And I was blessed and fortunate, I was also present there. He says, Aham chadyakamam tatra, he says. And Viprarished Bhuri Tejasa, and the speaker of the Bhagavatam was Shukadeva Goswami. He was greatly effulgent and very enlightened. So much so that even very great souls wanted to come and hear from him. He says. And I had only one qualification with which I went to that Bhagavatam class. He says, Nivishtastat anugrahat. He says, I heard with a laser focus. Every word that was spoken, I grasped it. He says, Soham Shravayishyami. He says, whatever I heard, now I will repeat it to you. So because he heard well, he could repeat well. Prabhupada's guru also said, Bhaksan Sisi Thakur, you are talking about Avay Babu for initiation? Definitely I will initiate him, he said. Because he likes to hear. He said. He hears very attentively, so he can also speak very powerfully, he said. So, if a deer is able to hear very attentively, it will never become prey for the tiger. Similarly, a devotee is hearing the Shastras very attentively. He will not fall prey to Maya. Generally, people who fall prey to Maya are careless people. And the careless people get distracted, you will see that. And to teach that example, we have Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj is a great soul, but he taught the world how, because of little carelessness, inattentiveness, he had to pay a big price. He got distracted by a deer. Yeah. So, that hearing attentively, Nivishtastaddhanugraha, there Prabhupada writes there. Who can attentively hear the Bhagavatam classes or the chanting of the holy name? He says, one who is pure in mind can hear, he says. And then he's asking, who is pure in mind? One who is pure in habits, he says. And who is pure in habits? For example, habits include eating habits, what type of food you eat. If somebody is eating for taste, eating very too much delicious preparations, and he becomes a slave of the tongue, then he is not able to have a good habit of, it's not an elevating habit. If one has simplicity in eating for energy for serving Krishna, that is eating. And sleeping for what? To recuperate the body or replenish the body. All day you are working, morning to night, the body undergoes wear and tear. So body pains also. So night when you lie down, you feel naturally sleep, and then the body is well rested. It is like just like the buses, cars also, they wash and they repair it, correct, no? After using for a certain period of time. No? Same way with the body also. You rest the body, relax the body, become brisk in the next day morning. Then again, you can give your service. That's the purpose. Sleeping is not for enjoyment. Sleeping is for recuperating the energy in the body and relaxing the body. Correct, no? But many living entities do eating and sleeping for enjoyment. Do you agree? Correct, no? Isn't it? That's where the problem starts. Similarly, mating is for reproduction purpose. Mating is kept. Mating is not for recreation. It's actually kept for producing children and raising them. So, of course, the mating is not only man-woman uniting. There are 8 types of mating, which Yajna Vakya explains. He says, Smaranam, Kirtanam, Keli, Guhya Bhashanam, like that, many things he says. Talking, thinking of women, talking to women, making a plan to meet a woman, being with a woman, flattering a woman, and ultimately making a plan to unite with a woman. All those 8 things he says. So all this mating, to the degree we break this principle, any of these 8 principles, we become weak-minded. To the degree we are slave of the tongue, we become weak. To the degree we are slave of too much sleeping, we become weak. So, too much eating, too much sleeping, and similarly mating. And then defending means somebody is insecure, unnecessarily they pick up quarrel with other people. Unnecessarily, just because they have a loose tongue. Like you will see sometimes a dog goes to a street and somehow or other he automatically posts himself as a master of the street, owner of the street. And he'll be sitting, if somebody passes by, unnecessarily he will bark. Correct, no? You've seen that? And then if somebody may tolerate and go, but somebody may not tolerate, they may stone him. Isn't it? So, defending is necessary. We all have to make sure nobody exploits us, cheats us. But we don't have to unnecessarily trouble other living beings, because they won't let us be peaceful if we trouble others. So, if we are pure in these 4 habits, he says, that means eating for energy to serve Krishna, I told you. Sleeping for rest and relaxation. So that a relaxed and rested body will not be fatigued. It will be alert. Then we can enter service to Krishna better. Similarly, mating to beget children to raise in Krishna consciousness. And defending to protect the movement of Krishna, to protect or safeguard our own devotional service. That is defending. So if we do these 4 things purely, then what is the result of that? He says, then one who is pure in habits, and one who is pure in habits also can be pure in mind. One who is pure in mind and thought is pure in thought. And one who is pure in thought. And also, for example, Datyahara, Prayasa, Prajalpa, Niyamagraha, Janasangalaulyam, they are all actually coming in this. Mating also includes Prajalpa also. You may wonder how. Prajalpa also includes mating, because talking about women, reading cinema magazines, watching internet, all comes in Prajalpa only. Prajalpa includes useless talk, arguing, debating, fault finding, blasphemy. All are included in Prajalpa. So, in this way, Atyahara, Prayasa, hard work, Prayas, for making more and more money. That comes in defending aspect. Too much defending. And then in the name of survival in this world. Atyahara. Atyahara comes in eating too much, isn't it? Accumulating too much. Prayasa, Prajalpa. Niyamagraha means not following the principles, or following principles superficially, without any focus in spiritual life. Naam ke vaste karna, nahi karna. Dono, both come in that. Niyamagraha. Janasangha means actually everything in this world, good or bad, begins with Sangha only. So if you see the 6 items, how they happen, I'll tell you. The order in which they happen. First thing is Janasangha. You get bad association. And when you come in Janasangha, that produces laulyam, material greed. Because all of you will see, after you meet your materialistic friends, your material greed is increased. How many of you experience? Correct? Huh? Yeah, that's where laulyam comes. They actually make you feel that, you have to beat the world, you have to be up in the world, Bhaga, bhaga, dauda, dauda. They will also run, they will tell everybody to run. At the end of the race, you have nothing you're going to take with you. Bhaga, 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 like that. So you get laulyam by Janasangha. And then when you get laulyam, then what do you do after getting laulyam? That laulyam produces a desire for atyahara. Because the greed has come, so now you have to accumulate more goods. Accumulate post, position, money, better facilities, better amenities. Live life king size and become cat size, dog size, cockroach size, or whatever. So then one wants to do atyahara. And atyahara, then is prayas. So actually, one more I forgot to tell you. When you do Janasangha, with Janasangha you do Prajalpa. That Prajalpa leads to Laulya. Correct, no? And then once the Laulya comes, the strong desire for Atyahara comes. And in order to do Atyahara, you have to do Prayas. And then when you start doing Prayas, then the sadhana becomes Niyamagraha. That means you neglect the sadhana or Nam Ke Vasa sadhana you do. That means when we're doing sadhana, but the mind is posted in material platforms, thinking of all material plans like that. You will see that. So all these 6 things, these are the things which actually make our mind unfocused, these 6 things. And we lose focus. So in this way, that's how one, therefore in order to achieve the goal, one has to purify the mind by removing the 6 items which I told you just now. And substitute them with Utsahan, Nishchaya, Dhairya, Tattat Karma Pravartana, Sangatyaga, Satovritti, those 6 items. So Utsahan is enthusiasm, but that should be tempered with dhairyat, patience. If one is only enthusiastic, sometimes one may run and suddenly one may wonder, where am I running? Where am I supposed to go? Imagine, which is getting late. Like one fellow jumped into the car and started driving the car. I am going for the program. But on the way he realized, but I don't know where the program is. Suddenly asked his friend. Friends also said, we thought you know it. And they said, I thought you will know it. Isn't it? So, of course, nowadays you can call somebody and tell them to send the map, correct, no? And then you can catch up with it. Otherwise, if you've driven half an hour, then you will not know where to reach, correct, no? So the goal should be first fixed. Goal is fixed, then you can make a plan to achieve it, correct, no? So, therefore, any goal to be achieved, first of all, be clear about the goal and then have a focus. And how to develop that laser sharp focus? For that you need interest. If you don't have interest, you won't have focus. For example, you are working in the computer, or you are watching your smartphone, doing some educational purpose, you are studying. Suddenly mind is going to something else, entertainment. That means the mind is not liking that subject. If interest is not there, it is going to go. If interest is there, nothing else will come in your mind. For example, on a festival day when you sit with the prasadam plate, correct, no? Do you think you can think of anything else? You look at all the items very lovingly, you watch. What are like pulav and curry and gulab jamun, correct, no? All the items, little by little you eat. And even if your friend calls you, pinches you, you won't see it. You'll just push him. You will be fully focused when you enjoy something. When you're liking something, something interests you. In fact, if you're reading a book, it's very interesting. Somebody comes and stands in front of you, you will not even see. Even though your both eyes may be open. That means you have become absorbed in the book, or you have become absorbed in the TV, or you have become absorbed in some very important thought which interests you. That means those who have absorption, absorption actually comes when you like a subject and it is interesting. Now you may have a question: how will that interest come? Prabhuji, lagan nahi hai, kya kiya jaye? Interest nahi hai. How the interest will come? By realizing the importance. Like for example, children like to play or study? Play. But they need to know the importance of studying. Otherwise tomorrow, future may be bleak if you don't study. So they should know the importance. Then they will develop interest. Similar in spiritual life also. People go for prayers or shreyas, most of the people. Short-term things, correct, no? Just like children. So we have to, if you want long-term results, we need to know the importance of human form of life. Importance of rising early in the morning, importance of chanting, importance of hearing the classes, importance of sadhu sangha, importance of taking darshan of the deities, importance of ultimately awakening Krishna Prem, correct, no? If you don't know the importance by studying the scriptures, therefore it's very, very important for us to daily study the scriptures or hear the scriptures, Prabhupada books. Because if you don't keep in touch with the scriptures, you lose touch with the reality. When you lose touch with the reality, you become covered by illusion. When you become covered by illusion, then temporary things look attractive and all the vital things go far away. Correct? Now that's the reason actually. So you develop interest by realizing the importance. But many people are not able to realize the importance of spiritual life because they are caught up in temporary pleasures. Correct, no? So how to overcome the temporary pleasures? By realizing the greater pleasures. Param drishtva yavartate. Krishna says that. By developing higher taste. So now how do we develop higher taste? Because once you develop a higher taste, you also slowly start understanding the importance of the shreyas. Then that will develop interest. And that interest will develop focus. That means higher taste leads to importance, importance leads to interest, and interest develops focus on the so sharp focus, and the focus helps you achieve the goal. Correct, no? Yeah. So that means higher taste is actually developed in good association. When you come in good association, naturally they teach you all the things which are good for the soul, which are healthy for the body, mind, soul. Like you all have experience when you come here, the student center. Whatever is taught you is healthy for body, mind, soul, correct, no? It's a very wholesome type of lifestyle here. People mutually respect one another. There is a good habit of sleeping early, rising early, good habit of eating hygienic food, and that too sanctified food also, correct, now? And also we follow 4 regulative principles, clean habits, very clean, super clean. Even many spiritual organizations eat meat, many people. There is one mission, they eat murgi and all they eat. Yeah, they eat, even sannyasis eat also that. They have no standard. Because they don't know, basically. Nobody trained them. They are not receiving knowledge in Guru Parampara. Some of those people, later on when they come to ISKCON, they realize, my Lord, nobody told me this, and they give it up after that. So, therefore, we need to get the parampara knowledge and practice it and be in good association, develop a higher taste, know the importance. Now, why did I speak on this while talking on consistency? Because you cannot be consistent unless you have developed a higher taste in something. So that is the reason we spoke on these things. They all are connected. Yeah. So without seeing, let us ask all of you to close the eyes and how to achieve the goal? By developing laser sharp focus, one-pointed focus. How to develop laser sharp focus? By developing interest. Because distraction means alternative interest. Attraction means you have focus. If you have no attraction, there is an alternative attraction is called distraction. Therefore, to have a sharp focus on one thing, you should have attraction or you should have interest, developing interest. How to develop interest? Realizing importance. Actually, some parents train the children very well right from young age that you should not indulge in bad habits. You should study well. They always keep giving books to the children to study. They also take them to temple. So because the parents have emphasized on the importance of the good values, and when they grow up, they have picked up. Correct, no? On the other hand, you find some not emphasize the importance for you. You didn't know the importance. Then you get naturally carried away by the alternative engagements in the world, degrading engagements. So, by realizing importance. So, how do we, actually, what do the people who have not understood the importance of spiritual life do? What do they do? Sense gratification. So, how can we surpass sense gratification and develop a, higher taste? Param drishtva nivartate. So, when there is a higher taste, we can give up sense gratification. When we can give up sense gratification and study the scriptures, then we can understand the importance of going back to Godhead. Correct, no? Yeah. And once you know the importance, then what develops? Interest develops. Once you know the importance, then interest develops. Actually, you all will have experience. We were all playing with toys or we were playing games. But once we went to school, then slowly we got into studies. And how many of you can confidently say that you developed some interest in some subject? Correct, no? Yeah, only when you study, you develop interest. Correct, no? Otherwise, you don't develop interest in anything. So, there are two reasons how you develop interest. One is your parents put you in that, setting that you have to do it. Initially, you are not interested. But after you are put, then you developed interest. Spiritual life is also like that. Somebody gives you a discipline. So, our centers, our youth centers are actually places where initially one may find it difficult. When you come sleeping early, rising early, because you're not habituated to it. But then when others are telling you, seniors are telling you, attendance is taken, you do it, and then you start feeling better. You feel more healthier. Just like a morning when a child is waking up, what's the first thing a child will do when he gets up from the bed? He sees the mother, he'll start. You've seen that? Typically, you can see anywhere, small kids. And when the mother comes, picks up the child knows mother will now take me to bathroom to bathe. Which the child doesn't want. Child doesn't like at all. But you can see mothers putting the baby on their legs. You've seen that they will keep the legs straight, put the baby upside down. You've seen that? On the belly, and they will put water. And the child will be continuously crying. You've seen that? Do you think mother will pour a smoky hot water? She is putting lukewarm water. Is lukewarm water enjoyable or not? But then why is he crying? He has no reason to cry. Therefore he cries with nose only. Like that. Of course, after the bathing, mother wraps up the child with the napkin and brings the child, puts the dress, puts powder, everything. And then she will put the kajal, mascara. Then the child will, then she puts a rubber band or something here. Then the child will be smiling after that. See, after bathing, how many of you feel happy after bathing? But before bathing, how many of you feel lazy? Correct? No? Yeah. So that spiritual life is also like that. Spiritual life, before taking up, there is an inertia. That's a lethargy. That's a little, the warm bed is a cold grave, it is said. Yeah. The warm bed is very nice in the morning. That's a grave, cold grave it is called, because you'll be buried in spiritual life if you don't get up. But once you get up, take a bath, and then put tilak, put the fresh dhoti kurta, and you come, you feel, oh, this is much better than the comfort I got in the bed. Correct now? So, and what is that? Kajal she put, that is Jnananjana Shalakaya. That is the hearing of the lectures. When you hear lecture like child, when you put the kajal, it will push away the mother's hand. No. I don't want this, because she puts the finger into the eyes now. But that kajal is very cooling to eyes. How many of you know that? That's cooling. Similarly, when Guru tries to give knowledge, we have to make so many arrangements to give that knowledge. Unless there is, in America, many of this, this Ritvik temple and all, when they do program, they put only the picture of the big prasadam plate. Today evening program, youth program, there's a big plate of prasad. They put a photo of that, and very high quality photo also, so that the prasad is coming out of the plate. You can see like that. They put this away. That's the first thing. Annamaya Koshi is the first one, correct? No? Attraction. Yeah. And then Pranamaya. What is Pranamaya? Leadership, management, time management, stress management, mind management. Then people come further. That means how to fight the world, how to survive with all my struggles. Pranamaya, isn't it? And also then the Manomaya, relationships, Valentine Day and all those lectures. And Manomaya, so many people are dreaming about so many things. Goal setting, willpower to excel and all those things. Then after students come for this for 1, 2, 3 years, then they will say, now they understand. Then they slowly open their eyes to Vijnanamaya Kosh. What is it? You are not the body, you are spirit soul. Then they will understand. After that. And then beyond that, they have to be told, you are not God, by the way. God is Krishna. You are servant of Krishna. That is Anandamaya Kosh. So you will see that, it takes pretty long time for the living entities to take interest, become serious, in this day and age especially. But those who have understood the importance are good sons of the Lord. They understand the importance, then they develop interest, then they get focus, and they become very focused. And you are focused, then you do one thing at a time very well. Then you achieve perfection. So, when we talk of consistency, let us see what Prabhupada says about consistency. See, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, purport. You can read this, somebody?
Although the young Brahmana described himself as having no claims to aristocracy and being an uneducated common man, still he had one good qualification. He believed that the Supreme Personality of Godhead was the topmost authority. He accepted the words of Lord Krishna without hesitation and had firm faith in the Lord's consistency.
See the word here, the consistency is Lord's consistency is being spoken here. What is the meaning of consistent? Krishna makes a promise and he keeps his promise. That is his consistency. Like Kunti Maharani said to Krishna, oh Krishna, your moon may become hot or sun may become cool, she said. But you will never go back on your words if you are given a promise, she said. How? Like Krishna gave a promise that your sons Pandavas will rule the world. Although they were only 5, Kauravas were 100, but ultimately they ruled the world. Right now? So he kept his word. I'll show you one more thing. See, Draupadi's Vastraharan and Krishna's gratitude. See, one time when Draupadi is tying that, she tore the end of her sari, untied it in Krishna's finger when there was bleeding. And Krishna says, what he says? Read it.
Today, Draupadi, I am in debt to you.
Mike.
Today, Draupadi, I am in debt to you, and when the time comes, I will pay you back for each and every thread.
Like that he promised. And he kept the promise in this pastime, correct? When Draupadi's man was in great danger, that time Krishna supplied her unlimited sari. Yeah. So you can see, he gave just one strip of cloth, and how much Krishna gave, you see. Isn't it? So he is very pakka in keeping word to his devotee. Kaunteya pratijanihi ami bhakta pranashyati, he says. My devotee shall never perish. Actually, many vachans Krishna is giving. Yoga kshemam Ahamyaham. That's another vachan he has given. Tesham aham samuddharta mrityu samsara sagarat. Bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. He says. So, because devotees' heart is attached to me, I personally come and deliver them. You must have seen the picture of the Lord coming in Garuda and lifting up the devotee, isn't it? Similarly, Lord also says that what all he will do with the devotee. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I will give the knowledge to my devotee. Even if my devotee is an illiterate, he says, Tesham evanukam partam ahamajnanajam tamaha nashayami atmabhavastu jnanadipena bhasvata. I will light up the heart of my devotee with torchlight of knowledge, and all darkness will be dispelled. If the devotee is sincerely practicing spiritual life. Similarly, yatra gayante madbhakta tattatishtami narada, he says. When Draupadi called, Krishna was in Dwaraka, she was in Hastinapur. Immediately he came. When Gajendra called Narayana, Lord was in Vaikuntha. Immediately he came. Ajamila called Narayana. Immediately the Lord came. Correct, no? So wherever the Lord's name is uttered, Lord is immediately present. He says that. So there are many, vachan given by Lord to his devotees. The promise given by the Lord to his devotees. Like he says, Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja. So these two are your duty to do. There are many, many chota mota dharmas. For example, there is Parivar Dharma, there is Desh Dharma, there is Jati Dharma, there is Kola Dharma, there is Stri Dharma, so many dharmas. He says that Sarvadharman, and what is the only dharma you should do? Mam Ekam Saranam. If you do these two things, what he says? Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayisha. So he is giving a promise, what I will do for you, what you will do for me, and what I will do for you. So you can see those who surrendered like that, like Ajamila, for example, called Narayana and surrendered to Lord. So that happened. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishami. So when Mrigari surrendered to the holy name, and the same thing happened. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishami. Lord did that. You can see that. So we study the scriptures, and you can actually do a project of, in Bhagavad Gita, what all promises Krishna has given. Make a list. After that, on the right side, you can find out examples from Puranas. Okay, Krishna says this promise. Now, has he fulfilled or not? So you can check it. And that's what he's saying, consistency. Faith in the Lord's consistency. Similarly, according to Prahlad Maharaj, another authority on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such a staunch and faithful devotee of the Lord must be understood to be a most learned scholar. Tanmanya adhitam uttamam. This he says in that famous verse. Shravanam kirtanam Vishnu smaranam padasevanam archanam mandanam dasyam sakyam atmanivedanam iti pumsarpita Vishnu bhaktischen navalakshana kriyeta bhagavatyadha tanmanye adhitam uttamam. One who is engaging in the 9 types of devotional service, beginning with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. He says that is the most knowledgeable person, he says. Greatest education, he says. I read that, a pure devotee.
Pure devotee who has firm faith in the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is to be considered as most learned scholar, the topmost aristocrat, and the richest man in the whole world. All godly qualities automatically exist in such a devotee. In the preaching work of the Krishna consciousness movement, we, as the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, fully believe in the words of Krishna and his servants, the disciplic succession.
This is one of the speciality of a devotee. Devotees, if they have heard something from Krishna, they will develop a very firm faith. Like we were in Mayapur for a Utkarsh camp. So our boys, we took them to Gurukul, So they were asking questions to the small kids, 7-year-old, 6-year-old kids. They were white kids. They were, born in America. So one of the boy was asking, have you seen Krishna? He was asking. And the boy said, oh yes, he said. Where have you seen? He said, every morning we see him. He said, really? Where do you see? He said, here. We go to Sri Radha Madhava temple. Every morning we see him. He said. And the boy said, no, I'm not talking about deity. Actual Krishna have you seen? The boy asked. And the small boy became angry. He said, Do you see difference between Sri Vigraha and Krishna? That is aparad. Why say? So Lord in this world is manifesting himself as Sri Vigraha and is accepting our offering and is bestowing mercy on us. So when I saw the small kid, I felt it's like Prahlad. Such firm faith he has developed. That's what Prabhupada is saying. The devotees of the Lord have a firm faith in the Lord's statements. Lord can do miracles, just like that Brahmin and cobbler story, right? The cobbler had a firm faith that Lord can even put an elephant in the hole of a needle. Because he is putting inside a small seed, what? The whole banyan tree. Then why can't he do such a thing? Prabhupada asked another question to a man. He said, see God's miracle. Many examples Prabhupada said. One example he gave was, you see, the Lord is lifting the underground water and then he is keeping it in coconuts. Sometimes in villages, one coconut has 3, 4 glass of water. And that is not ordinary water also. It is what water? Sweet waters. Sometimes there are, 4 dozen coconuts. You will find 50 coconuts on the tree top. If you cut all of them and bring, you may have practically several liters of coconut water. So Prabhupada asked this man, you need to put motor for lifting water. But see, God is lifting without your motor. No, he asked. Then the man said, Swamiji, this is due to the osmotic principle. Okay, why don't you use osmosis now? And lift water. See, God has made that arrangement, you see. See his magic. My spiritual master told another magic. He said, generally man keeps water stored in syntax tank, correct, no? Huge syntax tank. He said, look at the clouds. It's the biggest syntax tank the world has seen. It is 10 miles radius syntax tank. And it stores several gallons of water. But this tank is such a beautiful tank, it's a flying tank. Our syntax tank will sit in one place. Firmly you have to put all the nuts and bolts and keep it, correct, no? But the cloud is it's a flying tank. Not only that, aeroplanes can go into it and come out also. Nothing will happen. It will not break also. Not like the twin towers which broke when aeroplane entered. This tank actually is such a flexible and soft tank. Airplanes can go through it, it will allow, and still it will be holding the water. Correct now? It can move from one place to another, it can be blown by the wind. Yeah, it carries so much water. So, God's magic, God's miracle, one should appreciate. So, that's what he is saying, that devotees of the Lord develop a very firm faith. Now, why that firm faith is needed? 3 things we are talking about. One is God's consistency in keeping his promises. That's one thing I told you. Second thing, our development of firm faith in him. And after the development of firm faith, the third step is consistency in our spiritual life. That comes only after that. If you hear about Krishna's promises in scriptures, you will develop some feelings for him. If you don't develop any feeling for him, you are not going to develop a very strong faith in him. If you don't have strong faith in his words, then we are not going to be consistent in spiritual life, because we have alternative attractions. And the alternative attraction is called as sense gratification. Nothing else other than that. You will find that. Why even after one becomes a brahmachari, still one is distracted by so many things. Main reason is because we have not developed a very firm faith and conviction, like innocent child-like conviction. So, we were telling about, all the godly qualities automatically exist in such a devotee. A pure devotee has firm faith in the words of the Supreme Lord. Here there are 2 examples given. One is the Sakshi Gopal story, that Brahman. He had a very firm faith in Lord's deity form. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj had firm faith in Lord's protection. So because of that firm faith in the protection, they were actually one-pointed and focused. They could be. Correct, no? Then you can be consistent in your practice. We will not become cheaters in spiritual life. Yeah. See, although we are, says, even though we are neither a rich man nor a very learned scholar, and even though we do not belong to any aristocracy or rich family, this movement is still being welcomed and is very easily spreading all over the world. What is the reason for that? Although we are very poor and have no professional source of income, Krishna supplies money whenever we need it. So just see how powerful sentence you see here. No? See what Prabhupada says here. Although we are poor, see, devotees who are living in temples, they don't go to office to make money and then collect money and put in a bank and then they build a temple. Imagine if some brahmacharis are supposed to jointly build the temple by the money they earn. Do you think we can earn money and build a temple? Like for this NVCC, we have spent 80 crores. So, do you think in your lifetime you can earn that money and build this temple? But you depend on Krishna. You chant, you dance, you preach, you distribute prasad, keep doing the activity. And suddenly Krishna inspires many living beings, in their heart. Therefore, many people say that, I don't want to give it to any one person, I want to give it to the temple, they say. Because people don't trust the common people, correct, no? But they trust the Lord. When you sincerely practice and preach, then Lord will inspire the people to come and donate. They'll donate. That's what Prabhupada is saying. In fact, in another lecture, Prabhupada says, in his time, there were 5,000 people living in the temples, in Prabhupada's times, connected to temples. So, Prabhupada says, now all over the world we have 4,500 devotees living in our projects, and they are taking prasadam 3 times a day, Prabhupada says. And who is maintaining them? None of them are doing any job. And Prabhupada says, they just go out and distribute books. And the morning to evening they do Sankirtan, distribute books, and people see their good activities, good habits, and pure lifestyle, and people are eager to come forward and support them, inspired by God in their hearts. So they have full conviction, and Prabhupada told those people, you dedicate your life and Krishna will take care of you. And they had faith. Narada told Mrigari, you break the bow. Mrigari initially asked, if I break the bow, this is my livelihood. How will I get my livelihood? Narada said, I will send you, he said. And the next day onwards, he broke the vow. After breaking the bow, he was chanting Hare Krishna. And sure enough, Mrigari and his wife, after chanting, they opened their eyes, they saw all grocery were there, correct, no? All the grocery, vegetables, fruits and sugar and oil and ghee, everything was there. So, it is a fact actually that if somebody is staunchly living a lifestyle of a pure devotee and preaching and propagating, then it becomes Krishna's promise that he has to take care of such a devotee. Prabhupada says, whenever we need some men, Krishna supplies them. That's it is stated in Bhagavad Gita. See, one very important thing we should know, if we are saying that I am a Krishna conscious devotee, I am preaching, but nobody is becoming devotee, nobody is taking interest, then it is likely that we are too much focusing on skills. We are too much focusing on techniques and tools. We are not able to hold the people because of inability to have very strong and firm faith in ourselves, our own devotional service. So, here Prabhupada is saying here, whenever we need some men, Krishna supplies them. So what we should think, even the men who are coming to this movement and becoming serious devotees, we should think that Krishna is sending them to me. How can you say Krishna is sending them? On what basis can we say that? Anybody? On what basis can you say that Krishna is sending the men? Anybody? Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Because the message which we are giving is from Krishna only, that we preaches.
Okay. Anybody else want to add to this?
Hare Krishna. So
Yes.
Hare Krishna Ruchi. So actually we can during preaching we can observe that we are not pure enough actually to bring them. But if they are showing their interest by their will, so we can understand how Paramatma is inspiring them.
Paramatma is inspiring them. That is the answer to this question. So whenever we need some men, Krishna supplies them properly. Krishna supplies means when Krishna is satisfied with our spiritual endeavors, like you said, we are going out distributing books or calling people. When Krishna sees this devotee sincerely practicing and is and he needs support, and he is my man. Krishna thinks like that. He is my devotee. So let me send him money. Let me send him manpower. So that Krishna will do. So therefore it is said, by Krishna you get Guru, and by Guru you get Krishna, it is said. Whenever we need some men, Krishna supplies them. Yam labdvacha param labham anyate nadikam tataha. Actually, if we can attain the favor of Krishna, we do not need anything else, Prabhupada is saying. What he says? If you attain favor of Krishna, we don't need nothing else you need. This conviction, this is Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. That's a verse it is. If I do Krishna Bhakti, if Krishna glances at me, that's all I need. Nothing of this world is needed for my living. He will give me everything. He will take care of me. We certainly do not need those things which a mundane person considers to be material assets, he's saying. So this kind of firm faith when a devotee gets, from that comes consistency. From this. Then devotee thinks, see, all of you will see in your lives also, first of all, you develop some notion or idea that this is called as a successful man. Correct, no? Like sometimes college boys are walking in the road, they see some billboard. A man is standing stylishly with a glass like this, spectacles. A rich man, and there's a big car behind him and a big villa, bungalow, isn't it? There are some beautiful women also along with him. And the boy thinks, when will the day be mine? And I can be like this. Correct or not? So after that, the boys develop aspiration that I want to be a rich man. Eventually, I want to have a big bungalow. I want to have beautiful women with me. And I want to eat fine foods and dress fine. And I want to show off also. I want to impress the world. So he considers that as the, what do you call it? Like the ideal to be achieved in his life. So he revolves around that thought in his mind. And he'll work very hard. He will go here, go there. That is the reason why many boys go to Gulf or they go to abroad. They make money. Even boys from Indian villages, they come to town, they come to city and they go to America. And later on they take parents also to America and show that, see how I am living in America. What kind of facilities I have. Because they thought that that is the highest thing you can achieve in life. Correct, no? They couldn't think of anything beyond that. Of course, you can ask them 20, 30 years down the line, where will it be all be? It will be finished. You may be a dog or a cat next life. That nobody thinks about. But all they knew is becoming economically high. Correct or not? Correct, no? Similarly, there are n number of people coming to Bombay to become a cinema actor. Do you know that? Many boys who have little good looks they try to become actors. Similarly, females also. There are many people coming to Bombay for becoming singers. And they spend a lot of money, lot of energy, lot of time wagging their tail, going to the directors. They try a lot. You can see that. That means, it is said energy flows where intent goes. Repeat. Energy flows where intent goes. Once your intention is clear, this is what you want to be. This is your role model. So for me, role model is Prabhupada. So then how Prabhupada lived, Prabhupada history you will read, what Prabhupada did, how wonderful Prabhupada is, Prabhupada, revolve around Prabhupada. Then you want to also learn from him, you want to speak like him, you want to live like him, you want to attain perfection like him. That is how you will find the devotee means if you have a spiritual goal, then you will put energy in that direction. And you can be very easily consistent. And how you can be consistent? Because resistance is zero. And when does resistance come? When you have other goals. Correct? No? We don't mean to say everybody should shave up and become brahmachari. But even if one is like Krishna Chandra Prabhu, is not a brahmachari. He's Rishikesh Mafatlal. But he knows clearly that all the material belongings he possesses are not his real wealth. Correct? No? He knows very clearly. These things are there and they will be gone. My relationship is with my spiritual master, with Prabhupada, with Krishna. So when one is very clear, you can be a woman, you can be a man, you can be a boy, you can be a child. So once the goal is ascertained in the mind, in a crystal clear manner, Sat Sangatva, Nissangatve, Nissangatva, Nirmohatve, Nirmohatva, Nishchalatatve, Nishchalatatva, Jivan Mukti. See, these four things are said here. By Satsanga, you can avoid Kusanga, bad association. And by avoiding Kusanga and going to Satsanga, what happens? Nissangatva, Nirmohatve. When you avoid non-devotees, Moha also goes along with them. And because they are the fellows who put you in Moha, illusion. When you keep away from non-devotees, the Moha is also gone with them. What is Moha? Moha means, that which is not, you are madly attracted to it. Like a pig is chasing after a stool as if it is very attractive. Correct, no? In fact, a pig thinks that there's another man walking in this direction, he may compete with me for the stool, like that he thinks. Actually, he has no competitor. But he is attracted to it. So that's his illusion. Similarly, we in our youth, we are attracted to dirty pictures and dirty movies and dirty things. That's illusion only, isn't it? And that comes because of bad association. When you avoid Nissangatve, then Nirmohatve also. When the Nirmoha happens, Nirmana Moha Jita Sanga Dosha adhyatmanitya vinivritta kama dvandvairvimukta sukha dukkha sajnair gacchantya moda padamavyayam tat, he says. So, nirmana moha. Nirmana means you become free from pride, free from illusion. Jita sangha dosha. You give up bad association of bad people and bad association of the three gunas. You give up those things. And adhyatma nitya, become fixed up in spiritual life, he says. And vinivritta kama, be done with lust. Throw lust far away. Done with means you never are ever attracted to it again. You throw it far away. And dvandvair vimukta, become free from sukha dukkha, mana pamana, and all these things which drag, put you in a pendulum. Right now. So, and then he's saying, Gachanti amudha. Then you will go to the spiritual world, he says. Amudha means the spiritual world is for people who are not fools, he's saying. Amudha. But that means material world is filled with it's fool's paradise. Yeah. Padam avyayam tat. You can attain that padam. Param padam you can attain. So, therefore, adhyatma nitya means fixed up in spiritual life. For that, you need conviction in Krishna's lotus feet as the ultimate goal. Read this one. Okay, actually, one more thing he's saying here. See, this is a very important sentence. Read this one, yeah.
The consequences of attempts to cultivate spontaneous devotional service in the absence of steadiness and real greed have been recorded in history.
See, two words are used. You need steadiness in spiritual life. Are you rising every morning? Are you coming for Mangalarti, chanting and studying Prabhupada books? Are you pakka in your sadhana? If you are not, that means you are not steady. Plus, do you have the greed in spiritual life? Greed in spiritual life is good or bad? Good, most needed. What is that greed? Like there was some Mr. Paul sitting in Prabhupada's lecture. So Prabhupada was talking about Adar Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, and Bhajana Kriya was talking. And then even before Prabhupada went to Anartha, Paul started asking, Swamiji, yes, we are doing bhajan, but when will our impurities in our heart go away? When will Krishna give us darshan? He asked. And Prabhupada was so happy, in that lecture. You will hear that. Prabhupada say, see, Mr. Paul, how much interest he is taking. He is actually greedy to get darshan of Krishna, and that greed is required. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. You need a govinda viraha, not a dollar note viraha. Not a viraha for beautiful women. Not for dhanam janam sundarim viraha. What viraha we need? Govinda virahena me. So that is the real greed. So inside our heart, that is the real greed. And steadiness should be shown by external practice, like sleeping early, rising early, coming for the chanting, coming for the morning program. Why many of the youths you find, they come to ISKCON temples, take prasad, once in a while they just come, they may chant, dance and go away, not regularly come. Because they have that greed has not yet awakened. And steadiness has not yet come in spiritual life. Steadiness is consistency actually. Consistency in practice. And the reason is they have not developed strong interest. And the strong interest has not developed because they have not developed a higher taste. And higher taste hasn't developed because they have not studied the Shastra properly. Everything starts with attending the weekly lectures regularly. When one regularly hears the lecture, then you will come for daily hearing, half an hour at least. In this way, hearing the knowledge is like switching on a tube light in a dark room. Once the tube light is switched on, you see things as they are properly. So knowledge should be awakened. Then with knowledge, the importance is understood, then the interest is awakened, then the laser focus comes, then the goal is made fixed, and then one understands Krishna's glory, and then develops fixed up faith in Krishna's lotus feet. And then the greed will develop, greed and steadiness. So Prabhupada in his letters also, please read this first letter, Prabhupada's letter. I am glad to learn
that after deliberation between Jayapataka and Raktaka, You have been asked to become the president of Tornado Temple. The idea is that whoever is competent to manage affairs will accept the post of president by mutual consent. Our main business is to be fixed up in Krishna consciousness by keeping steady in the prescribed duties of devotional service. So I have got all approval for you being elected president. That is nice.
Yeah. Jagdish. So Prabhupada is saying here, which is the most important part of the sentence relevant to our topic today? Be fixed up in Krishna consciousness and keep steady in prescribed duty. What are the prescribed duties? Steadily, we should keep. Morning program mainly. So that means, if you are doing the morning program pakka, and you are also fixed up in Krishna consciousness, which means you are not, tossed between Maya and Krishna. You are in Krishna consciousness steadily, and the morning program is pakka. Then Prabhupada says you can be president. Otherwise, you can't be. You see, get it?
Gargamuni, the lift doesn't go up to the roof, though. Prabhupada, it doesn't matter one. Giriraj, we can take by palanquin. Prabhupada, no one story I can go, not now, but I can go. So you are trying so much for my comfort. I do not know whether I shall be able to repay you. Then I shall try my best. It is not possible to repay your debts. That's so kind. So I can simply pray to Krishna to give his blessing to you, so that you may remain very steady in devotional service and preach this cult all over the world. Otherwise, I have no other means. Without your help, I couldn't do anything. So you are very much kind. Kindly continue your cooperation. Paropkara. This is the moment of this.
Yeah. So here what we learn, if you faithfully serve Guru's instructions, trying to please him, then as he says here, he says that I can simply pray to Krishna to give. See, he says this. Correct, no? That means Guru can bless the disciple, that you can remain steady. That means, it is actually a result of your faithful practice of devotion service, you become steady. If you are, actually you make your little effort and Krishna and Guru are pleased with you, then they will make you steady. Like here Prabhupada is saying, I will bless you, or I will pray for you that Krishna will bless you to become steady. Krishna matirastu, like that he is saying. Yeah, read it.
I have noted that you have returned to Gurukula to take over the managing because Stoka. Krishna has left to go to Los Angeles at his whim. This is not
At
good.
his whim means independently he has made a decision to go. Yeah.
This is not good. This unsteady position.
Unsteady means what? Whimsically doing something without being ordered by superior. Understand, no? Yeah.
I have never been in favor of this practice of many times changing the responsible officers, 3 times in 1 week changing presidents. This will ruin the whole thing. From now on, if someone takes the leading post, he must agree to stick and not go away just because it is difficult from time to time. This is ideal leader. He is responsible and he knows his duty, just like I did that. My Guru Maharaj gave me a task, and always I was discouraged by my God brothers. But I didn't forget him even for a moment, and I was determined to follow my duty, even though sometimes I didn't like to do it. But this always changing means no sense. If he is a leader, he must be fixed up. Otherwise, if he has no real interest, why he takes that post? He must be responsible. He must take and develop the highest standard of Krishna consciousness practice in that area of management. But if he is sometimes thinking, oh, I do not like to do this, let me go and at first opportunity, then how will things go on? That is just like democratic system in your government. Every 4-5 years changing all the leaders. In this way, each man is thinking he shall not try to do very much. No one is interested in the real welfare of the citizens simply because the post is temporary. That is not our process. Real meaning of duty is just like Arjuna. He didn't like to be responsible. He wanted to leave the scene, but Krishna convinced him, this is your duty to fight. So he did it for Krishna, and he fought until the last man was killed from the opposing side. That is leadership. He is determined to stick to his position, because he has understood Krishna. But best thing is to discuss with Karnadhar and other GBC men to find a permanent manager of Dallas school who will not suddenly go away.
You understand? No? Actually, in this world, quitting people are many. As soon as there is see, when you say, we have a president's post vacant, if anybody wants, everybody will raise hand. I am ready to be president, correct, no? So recently when I was given the post of regional secretary assistant in Maharashtra, and in Maharashtra, 7 of us, like Sanat Matpu, myself, like that, different devotees. We were posted. So His Holiness Ranath Maharaj, His Holiness Gopalakrishna Maharaj, His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj. They met all the leaders. So Ranath Maharaj, when he spoke, what he said? Maharaj said, today, we are going to congratulate all those who have accepted the regional secretary post. And at the same time, let me honestly tell you, this is not an opulence for you. This is an austerity for you, he said. And you have been a temple president in one temple. Now we are going to increase the responsibility to 5-6 temples, which means we are handing over the headaches of multiple temples to you. So many people may think you are given a big post, a respectable post. Yes, it's externally respectable, but internally you have to split your hair. Therefore, you don't have to separately shave also. All hair will be gone. You have to break your head. So, but one thing you will see when going gets tough, those people who really take the words of the spiritual master, they will persist. They will not go away. Right now, he says here, somebody due to whims and fancies, he leaves the scene and goes away. He says, "No, I can't work with these people. I don't like him. He doesn't understand. These people are criticizing my management, so I will leave." So it's very easy to do that. But because those people, Prabhupada says, are not responsible. Even all of you as students now, when you pass out and go, you are on your own. Correct, no? Some of them may be in India, some of them may be abroad. But we find that even some of them were 16 orders when they were in the voice center. When they go out, you can actually weaken yourself with Maya by carelessness. And then even the basic practices can stop in your life. Or when you go out, you keep in touch with your seniors. You make phone calls to them, emails them, ask them for some service. Or make sure that when you go out of this place, you go to another place where you get association. You stay with devotees. And then there you continue preaching vigorously. Fight against Maya should not stop. That should go on. Otherwise, what's the use of you taking so much and not doing anything in return to Prabhupada? We all have to ask that question to ourselves. So Prabhupada is saying that if we post someone as a president, whatever happens, no matter even if sky falls to the ground, you should not leave. You should ask Prabhupada, Prabhupada, sky has fallen on me, can I leave now? What is Prabhupada? Stay when you stay only there. That kind of fixity is required. That is actually consistency or steadiness. So you understand what is steadiness. Taking responsibility, doing one's duty, whether rain or shine. Rain or shine means, sun is shining, you are very happy. You don't like the rain, but you have to do the service. It's your duty. You only have to bell the cat. And many people will bring problems to you. Like I know when I come to Pune or when I go to any place, either people come personally bringing many problems or they write mails also. There are Matajis, there are Prabhujis, there are children, there are boys, there are old people. And some devotee has complained about another devotee. One has to hear, you can't run away. You can't say, I will be a president, I enjoy the president's post, give me a nice office, a rotating chair. People will salute me. But when problems come, I will not be there, I will run away. Then what kind of president is that? Correct, no? We should be available for people. So being fixed in our responsibility, that is consistency. Consistency means year after year after year, year after year. Like I saw my spiritual master coming, in Bombay, he came in 1986. Practically he has been there for 3 decades. We have watched, willing to take the responsibility. So that's what Prabhupada expects also. Yeah, read that. This constantly changing managers is not good. We shall develop more progressively by sticking in one place and working. Not that we are. See, you plan for rotating the chief man at Nairobi Center is nice, provided the sense of authority and continuity is not weakened by so much switching of headmen. As long as you are recognized to be the leader of Nairobi Center with full authority in all matters, that is the point. This constantly changing the headman and whimsically dividing the attention is not good. Someone must be there who will stick tightly to the temple and develop it gradually to the highest standard. See, why this rotating thing came? If you see in Rotary Club and also Lions Club, they change president every year after 1 year. The whole idea is what? If you tell somebody that you are president for this year, they'll put their level best because they know that in the whole lifetime I get only once only. So this 1 year I will do kuch aise karke dikhaunga and I will do something wonderful and go. So they may do something very wonderful. That's one advantage. And the second advantage is sometimes you have one person at the top and he is holding the post and not leaving it for whole life till the last place, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't take responsibility. He doesn't develop the project. It is like a sluggish project. But if you put every year one person, everybody comes and contributes something and develops and goes. Correct, no? Like in Rotary or Lions Club. So these are advantages if you see like that. And also, sometimes when you put one person, initially he is very humble, simple, everything. But after 4 or 5 years, he becomes corrupt in character. He misuses money or misbehaves with women. Then he wants to misuse also and he wants to hold on to post also and he doesn't leave the post sometimes. It happens like that. It becomes difficult to remove. Because of his many years, he has earned the trust of many people. Even when he does blunder also, you can't remove him very easily. Correct, no? On the other hand, if you change every year, everybody knows. If he has done the blunder, at least till the end of the year, he will be there. After that, he will be out. Somebody else will come. So these are all the advantages of rotating system. You understand, no? Now, what are the disadvantages of rotating system? Who can say? Where is the mic?
Hare Krishna. It may happen that that person may not be responsible. This may happen because only 1 year is there. Anyway, he'll enjoy, then he'll go. He has to go. He may exploit in that case various.
He can take advantage of the facilities for 1 year and go. Okay. And behind, yeah, give him. Okay.
There will be unsteadiness, temporary unbiasedness, and there will be chaos in the whole department that for 1 year he's there, then people will take him cheaply. That after 1 year his role will not be there. So we will not respect.
So there is no weight to the authority.
Yeah.
People know that anyway, this fellow is ek saal tum drama karke jao, niklo bhi. Dusra aane wala hai. They will take him very cheaply, lightly. That's one thing. Another thing, as he said, is actually sometimes a person handles accounts or something. And next year when a person comes, he has to hand over things properly. If he does not hand over properly and he becomes busy with something else, some other place, then the continuity is not there. That's one problem. What else you said? Somebody else? Yeah. Give the mic. Yeah. Yes. Mic.
Some project requires some time. Some person starts and because now he has to do something. If it doesn't get completed in 1 year, next person may think, why should I give credit to that? Better stop that project. That's what happened.
Do something else new.
So he stops that project and starts another one. And next year someone comes, that doesn't get completed. He stops that and starts another one.
Correct.
Loss of time as well.
Correct. Very good point. Thank you.
Prabhuji, one is lack of knowledge transfer, and another one is that relationships which has developed with that leader, the other teammates. That is again when new leader comes, they have to again build up that relationship.
Correct. This is a good point. Actually, if a leader is around for a long time, sometimes companies say we are existing since 1858. Correct, no? They say like that. You've seen that some companies have put more than a century, and that's why old is gold. You say so. Somebody is. Like people come to a temple, they know that this fellow has been there. I know him 20 years ago. I saw he's still there. He's the same person. So people feel confidence in the movement. Yes, this is working. Like Yashu Prabhu used to be there in Ahmedabad. Yashumitranand Prabhu used to be there like that. He developed it over a period of time. Multiple temples came out to that project like that. Same with Rukmini Krishna Prabhu in Delhi also. So yes, these are. The relationships can be developed and same people may remain in the project. They may become like milk into rabadi. They can become more deeper community members without changing. When we very frequently change, it's difficult to build relationships and people won't feel the need for connecting also. They feel everybody is a changing person. People take the leader very cheaply and all that. So that in this way you will find both have their plus and minus. But what Prabhupada felt was, if a leader is a pakka man, then no need to change. Keep him for years. Prabhupada's time also. Prabhupada gave a lot of respect to the president for one reason. Like initiation means president has to sign. Otherwise he will not recommend anybody. 40 presidents attended a meeting with Prabhupada in America. So Prabhupada used to empower them tremendously. Because the idea was if one responsible man, even you take our youth centers also, There is one responsible brahmachari at the top, and next to him there is one responsible project manager or something. You can just leave the center as long as they are producing good results. Give them a lot of freedom. Some people ask me, Puja, how can you give so much freedom to these brahmacharis who are coming here and or the boys? They may commit mistakes. But Prabhupada trusted people actually. Allowed them to commit mistakes and learn over a period of time. And in case they are corrupt people, they are duplicitous, they are hypocritical, then they were removed from the post. They can't continue. But if there's a sincere soul, faithfully trying to practice and preach also, and the sincerity will eventually become evident to the people around. Can somebody keep on cheating for a long time? Very soon he'll be exposed if he's cheating. Like that, that's the point he's saying. So we talked about consistency. The last few things about consistency. So consistency of Krishna's promise that Krishna makes, and based on which devotees develop conviction in him that I will surrender to Krishna. And based on that conviction, the devotees are able to practice a consistent spiritual life. It goes on and on. And such consistently practicing devotees are required. Ahaituki, that apratihata is consistent. There is no breakage. You give a devotee a particular order, yellow brigade or white or saffron, you give, or diksha also. Congregation people take diksha. After that, Guru expects that, you can't chase after people. Is it possible you put a rope around his belly and catch him till the last breath? Can you do that? Follow. How much follow-up can you do? Only the word of the spiritual master is enough for the devotee. And the devotee in the heart should think, I will not displease my Guru. And be very, very careful to act as per his order. So that is the meaning of a proper disciple. So the fixed up devotee, one who knows his duty, one who is responsible in his duty, and also one who is a staunch and faithful devotee towards the Lord. So towards the Lord and towards Guru and towards the movement, ISKCON movement. And towards one sadhana, morning prep. That Prabhupada said, GBC means what? Any leader. You should go to those temples, see the morning program of the leaders first, Prabhupada says. If leaders are not doing good morning program, then Yatha Raja, everybody will degrade. If leaders are doing well, then you can ask the subordinates why you are not doing. He is doing, why you are not doing. You can ask him. So from there, this is actually the foundation of the spiritual life, the morning program, the chanting and Srimad Bhagavatam. Then the consistency will come. And my spiritual master was once saying, I asked him, Maharaj, whom can we make as counselors? Maharaj said, one who has been around for many, many years, he said. And then I asked Maharaj, many means how many? And then he said, those who have shown the quality of consistency, he said. And I asked him, who is called as consistent devotee? Then he said, one who doesn't have to be chased after, one who is fixed up in his Krishna consciousness, and one who is faithful, one who is sincere, one who goes on with his practices in rain and shine. In all seasons he will be practicing, and who also inspires others. And he said, don't make anybody counselor officially unless a group of people come to you and plead, we are inspired by that Vaishnava, please give him as a mentor for us. That time only you should make counselor. He said, counselors are not, created. Counselors are born. He said, how counselors are born? The birth of the counselor is given by a group of people whom he has preached to. So those people go to the management and say, Prabhu is such a wonderful devotee. I want to take personal guidance from him, but you have not made him counselor. Therefore we are suffering. Like that they say, okay, don't worry, we'll make him now. That's how we have to make counselor. Like that he said. So if nobody is inspired, like at one time I remember there was one fellow who came to one of the Maharajas. He said, Maharaj, पिछले 2 साल से हमको एंगेज किया, 40 लोग अटेंड करते थे, मैं कीर्तन करता था, लेक्चर दिया, अभी ये लोगों ने हमको हकाल दिया. अभी काउंसलरशिप से. Actually he was senior devotee. So somebody else had preached and they wanted him to do some kirtan and class he was doing. So, but he had some quarrel with them, fight with them, and then they told him, no, we don't want it because you will talk ill of us to the subordinates or something. And then they said, we have grown up now we will take care of our own people, something like that. It's a neophyte behavior. Then his guru told him, I was watching that. Guru said, He said, you preach and you bring people, and then when they become devotees, you counsel them. He told them. Because there should be some people who want to listen to you. Then only you can give lecture. No, otherwise can you catch people and give them lecture? How can you give? They should be willing to listen. So even in my travels also, my spiritual master gave me very good formulae. I asked him, Maharaj, where I should go, which place I should travel. And Maharaj said, if somebody invites you online or offline lecture, you can go. He said, to those temples, you can go. And then Maharaj said, if they call you for the second time, that means the first time experience was good. He said, otherwise they won't call you for the second time. And also he said, let them repeatedly call you and show their interest. Only when they are showing interest, then you go. And also he said, when you are going, you should know that you are going to serve them. You are going to benefit them. So you should know exactly what they want from you and how you should present it in a way you will benefit them. You should always keep in mind. And they should not, and also he said that they should, and also you should focus on all the core values which are very important for people to grow in spiritual life. And there are two things. One is a shell, one is a core, correct? No? Those people who are inviting you to teach those kind of principles which satisfy you and satisfies them. That is the kind of thing you should do. So he teaches many, many good principles. So he himself showed that fixity, because of which many of us observed that. If somebody is coming, going, even when some devotees are coming, jumping up and down for 2-3 years and they vanish. So it creates disturbance in people's hearts. You agree? अरे बहुत इतना नाटक कर रहा था किधर चला गया वो now he is going and dancing in discotheque. People will say, therefore, but if people see that a person is doing day after day, month after month, year after year, going on till last breath, is known as Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, for example. 1976 he met Prabhupada. You know what all developments he did in ISKCON. He came to the point of taking GB chairmanship of the executive committee. Out of 40 people, 3 people are the executive committee, and the 3, one is a chairman. So he took up the role also. He built the Ujjain temple. He made the Abhay Charan movie. He made this, that they make this altar and all, no? Altar making department. Huge. This time I saw when I went. Amazing kind of altar they are producing for hundreds of temples all over the world they are sending. And he also did many recordings of kirtans. Very, very sweet kirtan, which is heard worldwide. You can see that. And he translated all the books of, English books of Prabhupada into Bengali language. You can see that. And he would give very prompt seminars. So I went to Calcutta temple, they written Chaitanya seminar. They had written. I said, what is a seminar? Chaitanya we know, but what is a Chaitanya seminar? So later on, devotees told me that when you say seminar, people take it more seriously. If you say Chaitanya Charitamrita classes, they take it very lightly. So then Maharaj, how he makes it a seminar? He would come 11 o'clock, means 2 minutes before, 5 minutes before 11, Maharaj will be there in the seat. And everybody has to come by 11, latest by 11. If somebody is late, Maharaj will ask, get up, that couple, husband, why are you late? He will ask them. Of course, he sweetly will ask in such a way that they won't mind also. He always smiles. So he will exactly sing, half an hour kirtan, then 1.5 hours lecture, another, 1 hour question answer, and half an hour kirtan, some 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. So in this way he would do a program. Exactly, he sticks to the timing. And when anybody asks questions, they have to stand up. And Maharaj will read their name also. So-and-so Mataji, so-and-so Prabhuji, my husband, wife, they are asking a question. This is a question, this is my answer to you. Are you satisfied? He will ask them. So because of this, many people like to ask questions. Because, Maharaj will make them stand and answer their question one to one, very personally. And dot on time he will finish. He will not go, just like I am going overboard now. In this way, that's why he calls it seminar. 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening. Sharanagati seminar he was giving 3 days. So, what I am saying, such a great personality. All his life he served so faithfully. How amazing you see, isn't it? So, and cut, he developed all these years, practically 3-4 decades, and went back to Godhead. Such a wonderful life. So we can see the life of such great souls and get inspired. Shri Prabhupada ki
whether we are steady in Krishna consciousness or we have become stagnant in practice of Krishna consciousness.
Actually, what is the difference between stagnation and steadiness? Now, stagnation means life becomes like a stereotype there, and it becomes boring, routine. Same old thing we may be doing, and like imagine a 20-year-old boy is still wearing diaper. No, actually, you wear diaper till what age generally? 3 or 5, 4. No? So when you grow, you are supposed to change the dress, correct? No? Similarly, as we grow in Krishna consciousness, then, some developments have to be seen in us also. We don't get stagnated. For example, in reading the books, for example, in the way we pay attention to our chanting and morning programs and everything, in the way we connect with people, our relationships with people, how we relate with people. Maybe earlier we were neophyte, now we are more mature in dealing with people, in rendering our services with better quality. So, you can see our that behavioral science for youth in that the first seminar is on coming out of comfort zone. I have given a circle there. There are more than 15 items you can develop in life. If you see that slide, different areas. That means in each of the areas if you are developing, then you are not stagnated. And when you are talking about steadiness, what steadiness talks about? Reliability, dependability. That is what steadiness. For example, in managerial aspects, you are given a post, a service, you are steadily offering results, day after day, month after month, year after year, and blissfully going on with the service. And you don't bring unnecessary problems to the superiors. Rather, you add people to the department. You expand the department. You can see that. One such department is our Jivadaya department. Sarlakshan Prabhu was there. Then Amiya Madhusudan Prabhu came. Amiya Madhusudan Prabhu is a first class devotee. Especially in terms of dealing with people, he's highly respectful. He comes from the Bengal culture, So he's a good singer, good mridangam player, and very attentive and careful in dealing with devotees. So because of his good behavior, even with juniors, he is very careful. So he attracted a lot of people into the department. Many like to work with him. Now practically they have 20 people now. There are 10, 12 Brahmin, 8, 10 brahmacharis and another 8, 10 grihasthas. So he is attracted, and Sarlakshan Prabhu glorified him so much. He said, one voice boy you gave Prabhuji, that fellow is doing everything. I was very happy. So that means the department is developing. How do you know? Now they are ranking first in the world last 3 times. Now one more time, 4th time come also. Maharaj has given 5 lakhs now this year target. So that means the department is functioning very well. The results are produced. People are happy. And all congregation is engaged, and brahmacharis, boys are engaged very well. And you see the department. Earlier they didn't have racks, now racks for the books now. Earlier they didn't have the online distribution. Now they made a separate office for online. Earlier only this much, now they added one more office now. That means things are developing. So department is developing, number of people are increasing, and the results are coming, top results are coming now. And the persons who are involved, they are becoming more humble and more respectful and well-behaved people at the top, like our Sarlakshan Prabhu and our Amiya Madhusudan Prabhu. These are the people at the top. That means the results that are promised in the scriptures are visibly seen. And then you say they are steady. That's how we can see that they are steadily progressing. They are fixed up. They are not dropping the responsibility and running away. And even though new services were added, like Maharaj keeps increasing 50,000 every year. He started with 2 lakh. Then he said 2.5. Then he said 3. These people are not quitting and running away. If they are crying with the nose, that means the department is not flourishing department. Correct, no? Anything you give immediately. You can see that. So that means there is resistance. So much resistance. Somebody may say, Prabhu, we have to honestly open our heart. Otherwise, if you take too much also, we will collapse. They may say that. But actually, you will see that a flourishing department. Therefore, it is said, if you want to give service to a person, you catch the busiest person, it is said. Busiest people, somehow or other, they will find time. Or they will find another fellow who will do it under them. They will find out. But otherwise, there are people who are like, touch me not. Not this. Not me not service. Can you do that? Oh, not that. Why? I have to do this. I have to do that. They put a wall around themselves like that. Then they are stagnated. They are not able to take up. So, growing devotee means he's taking up more responsibility on behalf of Prabhupada's mission. And he is also becoming more cheerful. He is more surrendered. And also he's developing more Vaishnava qualities. And also he is getting more new realizations in Krishna consciousness. And his commitment to Prabhupada's movement is increasing day by day, more and more in his sadhana practice as well as his contribution. So it's very easy to see who is stagnated and who is steadily advancing. Yeah. Now, praise are ready? Acha, this is Advati Kurta, only Kurta.